In this lesson, we're going to be exploring what JSON is and how it relates to a JavaScript object. So we're going to have a quick example of JSON, and then we're going to retrieve that JSON file using JavaScript fetch, which will create the AJAX request and send the data, collect the data from the file, and then load it into our web page. And we can see that this content that's being displayed within the browser right now, this is coming from the data.json file, and it's actually not sitting within the application. It's being loaded after the application, the web page has loaded. So it's dynamically pulling in the content, and which is ready to use using JavaScript within our web page. Let's look at JSON and how it relates to JavaScript and JavaScript objects. So I've got the editor opened up, and I'm going to keep it on the left-hand side, and I'm going to have the browser window with the web page opened on the right-hand side. So this is the index.html page. If I make any changes to the index page, it's going to reflect within the browser. I'm also going to be using Chrome, so I can open up the dev tools on the Chrome browser under the More Tools, Developer Tools. You can also use the shortcut for this. I'm going to have that display here at the bottom of the web page on the right-hand side, and I'll increase the size of the dev tools. So this is within the Chrome browser where we can run JavaScript. So you can create JavaScript and run it directly within the browser. And it'll also be the output console for JavaScript. So let's create our script file and link to app.js. And this could be the JavaScript file where we're going to be outputting the content. Right now we don't have an app.js, that's why we're throwing the error. Create the brand new file. So I saved it as app.js within the same folder directory, and now I can interact with the content loading the JavaScript code. And we wanted to get a brief overview of what JSON is and how it works. So JSON is short for JavaScript Object Notation. So it's basically a human readable format of text that transmits data through the internet. And we typically use AJAX to connect to a server, and then we get the data back within a JSON type format. It can also be an XML, but now JSON is being used more and more. So we are going to focus the course on writing JSON. So JSON is similar to a JavaScript object where it can contain multiple data types. So if we have a variable called data, we can create an object. So right now this is just a JavaScript object. And because JSON and JavaScript is very closely related, there are some differences. Whereas with JSON, you do need to use the double quotes. With the JavaScript objects, you don't. JavaScript object, which will also be similar to a JSON. It will be JSON formatted, the JavaScript object. So again, using the double quotes, and all of the objects and the data are going to contain what's known as the name pair, the name values with the pairs. So they're paired together. So on the left-hand side is the name, on the right-hand side is the value, and we use a colon in the middle to associate the value with the name. So the different data types that can be held. So we've got strings that can be held within a JSON format. We can also have a Boolean value. So those are the ones that are either true or false. And this is case sensitive, so lowercase. And I'm just writing it with the lowercase. So that comes out as true. So this is a Boolean value. Numbers or integers. Within the data object itself, it can hold arrays as well. And these are indicated with the square brackets. And you would list the number of items within the array, separating it with the comma. And then we can pick these up using the index. And I am going to give you an example of that. And then any of these objects do need to get separated with a comma. We'll have objects within the object itself, and they can get fairly complex where you can have a combination of arrays and objects. Some more examples of those later on. And the structure is always going to be the same, where we have the name and then the value on the right-hand side. So this is how we're going to be referencing the content of the object. And I'm just going to create one more. And we can go ahead and we can save that. This JavaScript object into the HTML page, and we'll take a look at it within the browser. So we do a refresh and we look at data, and the data comes back in this type of format. So this is the same thing that you're going to see with the JSON, and we see that we can get access to any one of the values by selecting the data age, data courses, data friends, data and so on. So if we want to see the data value of first, we can return back the data value of first. We can also use the dot notation or the bracket notation. So typically you use the dot notation, but with JSON objects you can also have spaces within the names. So sometimes you do need to use the bracket notation. So you can use either one of them. It's going to reference and return back that same value that's associated with the name that you're referencing within the data object. So there's a number of websites that allow you to lint JSON, and basically what lint means is that it allows you to validate that this is a valid JSON structure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the JavaScript object that we just created and I'm going to pop it over to the JSON lint. And if JSON lint isn't available, there's a number of other websites that will do the same. So you just need to search Google a JSON validator, and there's a number of them on the line. So this, once you paste in your JSON object, you can press validate JSON, and you're going to see that it returns back that this is valid JSON. So if you had left out some of the quotes, you're going to get an error. It's going to give you an indication of what type of error it is and where it finds the error within the code. And right now, if we remove out the quotes, it's not going to be a valid JSON object, but it's still going to remain as a valid JavaScript object. So that's one of the important differences, that this is still going to be valid within JavaScript. So even if we haven't quoted around it, but within JSON, it's not. So JSON has a more stricter format than we do have with JavaScript. And the second technology that we are going to be looking at is going to be AJAX. So AJAX is short for Asynchronous JavaScript XML. It's going to note that here instead of the hello world, we'll write out AJAX, and that's what it's going to be short for. So Asynchronous JavaScript and XML. But although now we're using more JSON, so we've got an acronym and then we've got another acronym. So sometimes you might see that AJAX is referred to AJAX or so, but most commonly we're still referring it to as XML, even though we're predominantly using JSON data now. AJAX is actually not a language. It's web development techniques. There are many web technologies that work on the client side and create asynchronous web applications. So what that means is that within the web application, we're connecting and we're loading data. So we can send data, we can retrieve data from a server in the background without interfering the display of the web page. So what we have is just a way to trigger that and then interact with it. And what that does is it actually updates the web page, creating a dynamic web page loading data from external sources depending on what the user's interactions and what the code is requesting. So it's decoupling the data interchange layer from the presentation layer and allowing web pages to change content dynamically without the need to reload the entire page. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to save this JavaScript object, create a brand new JSON file. I'm going to call it data.json. So this is going to be a valid JSON file. And then we're going to use the JavaScript in order to connect to it and load that content into data. So clearing out the value of data and saving it. So right now for data, we don't have any values, and we want to connect to our JavaScript file and load some content into it. AJAX connecting to an external file and then loading that data into the page. And we're going to be using a function, a method called fetch, and I'll set up some of the parameters. So fetch is going to require the one parameter, which is going to be the web URL. And currently, because we've got the file located within the same folder as our index file, we can just refer to it as JSON, data.json. So that's going to be our web URL. So we make a fetch request, and fetch is promise based. So it's going to return back the results once it completes the request. So returning back, and we get a response back. And then we can take that response and send it back to the next part of the promises. And we do need to specify the format that we want to retrieve it. And I'm going to be covering this in more detail later on. And then once the response has the data, the promise gets completed, and it's going to ultimately send the data into the console. So we're going to be able to take a look at it within the terminal. So let's save that, and we see that we get this output. The output is not within a JavaScript object format, so we can't reference it or we can't use it as data, as it's returned back in text format. Fetch, there are some options, and I'm just going to indent this so it's a little bit easier to read. So instead of retrieving it back as text, if we do know that we're expecting JSON data back, we can reference it as JSON, and now we see that the browser actually changes the structure and loads it into the same data, the JavaScript object that we saw earlier. So it's loading this from this external file, and that means that if I change any of these, that will load the new file contents. And then the next part of AJAX would be to take this content and output it into the page. And of course, we're going to be covering more of this later on in the upcoming lessons.